Hello students, welcome to my class on computer graphics. I am Shravani Kundu, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. Today I will discuss the two-dimensional geometric transformation, rotation, scaling, reflection and shear. The translation transformation is already discussed in the last class. So now, as I told you that today we will discuss rotation. So first I will discuss rotation. So as I see, you know that while you will draw any object, as per your requirement, you need to rotate it. So suppose I have drawn this rectangle. Now I wish to rotate this rectangle. So what we have to do? I have to select this rectangle and then I have to select some angles along which I want to rotate it. So if I select the rotate 90 degrees, so you can see the rectangle is rotated along 90 degrees. So, and you also can perform the free rotation, and as per your requirement, you can rotate the object in any angle. So now this rotation object or instruction which is present or associated with each graphics application, using those graphics application and using that rotation option, we can rotate the object. Now how the rotation option can rotate it? So there is a code behind it. So today I will show you how this rotation basically performs. Okay, so to perform the rotation, you have to know some basic mathematics, like, so first let me draw some axis. So consider this is y axis, this is our x axis, fine. And we have a point P over here, and the coordinate of the P is xy, fine. So as I told you that this is our x axis and this is our y axis, fine. Now this point P will be rotated with some angle as per your choice. So how this rotation operation can be performed? So as you know that if I connect the point P with origin, after connecting the P with origin, this is 0 0, we got some angle. Okay, consider this angle is phi, fine, clear. So P is my point, and this firstly I am connecting this point P with origin, and this phi is the angle. Now I want to rotate this point P in anti-clockwise direction, and I want that my point P will appear somewhere here after rotation, and now the point becomes P dash and the coordinate is x dash y dash. Clear? So what is my objective? I want to rotate the point P from this position to this position, and the new coordinate will be x dash and y dash, and I want to rotate with some angle theta. So you perform the same thing. What you have to do? Now you connect P dashed with the origin. Okay. So if you connect P dashed with the origin, so what you will get? You will get another line. So let me draw the line first. So I'm connecting P with origin. Okay. Now after connecting P with origin, I got another angle. So because I want to rotate this point P with the angle theta. So with respect to x-axis, what is the total? So if I connect P dash with the origin, then for that particular, for this line makes theta plus phi angle with respect to x-axis. Okay. So what we can do, we can draw some line which is perpendicular from this point P to the x-axis. So I draw a line from P dash to x-axis. Similarly, I also can draw a line from the point P to x-axis. Okay. Now you can see that while we are rotating a point P with respect to P dash, so you can see the length of this line is, you can say the length of this particular line is R. Okay. So I am taking a line with radius R and I am rotating it. So if you, so it is very simple. You can consider that a rope is tied at this origin and you take a pin and you plug the pin in some position P, and then you take out the pin, and stretching the rope, you just try to rotate it. So what will happen? You can move the location P dash. So the distance, the length between P dash to origin, this particular length is also R. So while we are rotating, so you can make it, you can do it, you can check it, that while we are rotating a point from the position P to P dash, the length from the point P to origin and the length from point P dash to origin, that will remain same. It will not get changed. Fine. Only the angle will change. So if the length, if I consider the length is R, then from the length R, we can easily compute the value of X and Y. So for the point P with coordinate X and Y, so what will be our position? The position will be, what is X? So here you can say that X is nothing but R cos theta, sorry, R cos phi, because this angle is phi. Why it is R cos phi? Because this is X. So this total length from here to here, that is X. Clear? So if it is X and this length, you know, it is R, this angle is phi. So we can say that X equals to R cos phi. Again, the length from here to here, this length is Y. You know that this length Y and this is R. So you can also write Y equals to R sin phi. Clear? Now, in the same way, we want to find out the points P dash, the coordinate X dash and Y dash. Now, for the point X dash, how we can compute? You can see what is the total angle. What is the total angle? This total angle is nothing but theta plus phi. Fine. Because this angle from here to here is theta as phi, and angle from here to here is theta. Okay. So the total angle is theta plus phi. So here, and you can see that this length is nothing but Y dashed and this length is nothing but X dashed. So what we can write? We can write X dashed equals to R cos theta plus phi, and we also can write Y dashed equals to R cos theta plus phi. Now if you expand this one, R cos theta plus phi, if you expand this one, so what is the formula? It is R cos phi, R cos theta minus R sin theta sin phi. Okay, so it will be R cos theta cos phi minus R sin theta sine phi. Okay, so we can write it r sine theta and then sine phi. Okay, now here also, okay, first we'll complete this one. Let us say this is equation 1. Now here we also can write r cos, sorry, it will not be cos, it will be sine. So y dash equals to r sine theta plus phi. So it will be sine. So it is r sine theta plus phi. So what is sine theta phi? I can write it like r sine theta cos phi plus r cos theta sine phi. Okay. Let us say this is equation 2. Now we know that this r cos phi is nothing but x, and r sine phi is nothing but y. So what we will do? We will replace r cos phi by x and r sine phi by y. So replacing r cos phi and r sine phi by x and y, what we get from equation 1? From the equation 1 we got x dash equals to r cos phi, we will replace it by x. So we will write it x cos theta minus y sin theta. Fine. Similarly, we will do the same thing for y dashed. We will replace the r cos phi and r sin phi by x and y. And doing so, what we will get? We will get r sin theta. So we will replace r cos phi by x. So we will get x sin theta plus y cos theta. Clear? So in this way, if I know the angle through which, along which, or based on which we have to rotate the point, if I know the previous xy coordinate, then I can compute what will be the points after rotation. And if we can estimate the points after the rotation, then by using the rotated point, the new points, we can draw the object. So same logic is followed everywhere for every graphics application. So now how we can perform this operation? How we can write those things in the form of matrix? So what we can write? We can write that here. So we will write everything in the form of matrix. So here our point P, we will write in homogeneous coordinate system as I discussed in my last class. So what we can write? We can write that point P is x, y and 1. 1 is the weight, and the rotation matrix. Okay, so we can write TR, or TR, we can use some other, so we can write it R also. R is the rotation matrix, right? So here the rotation matrix R will be nothing but, you can see, we can write it cos theta minus sin theta, then 0, and then sin theta cos theta 0, and the last one is 0, 0, 1. And the transformed point, that means the rotated coordinate of the rotated point P dash, can be written as P dash equals to x dash, y dash and 1. Fine. So we can write it as x dash, y dash and 1. So what we will do? We will write that mu p dashed is nothing but if I multiply p into r. So if I perform the matrix multiplication, if I multiply the matrix p with the matrix r, then we can finally get the result. So I'm showing you. So we replace the p by xy1, r by cos theta minus sin theta 0, and then sin theta cos theta 0, then 0 0 1. Okay, so if you multiplied it, it will be x cos theta, this one into this one, this one into this one, this one into this one. Okay, so it will be x cos theta minus y sin theta and 0. Clear? So if you multiply this, so it will be, sorry, just a minute, I just wrote it wrongly. It will not be p dot r, it will be r dot p, because as you know, this is 3 rows 1 column and this is 3 rows 3 columns, so you can't multiply this form of things. So we have to just rotate, change the orientation. We have, what we have to do, we have to multiply it like this one. We have to multiply p r with p, fine. So it will be, so we can write it like r dot p. So then we can perform the multiplication, because the multiplication, now the multiplication is possible because this is a 3 cross 3 matrix and this is a 3 rows 1 column matrix, and then we can perform the multiplication. Clear? So now if you multiply them, what you will get? You will get x cos theta minus y sin theta. So the your answer will be x cos theta minus y sin theta. Next, this row will be multiplied with this column, so it will be x sin theta plus y cos theta. Okay, and the last one will be 1. So what is my p dashed over here? So here we can write that, we can write it like this, implies my x dashed y dashed 1 is equals to this one. So here you can see that x dash equals to x cos theta minus y sin theta, y dash equals to x sin theta, y cos theta, and this is the weight factor. So in this way, so this is our rotation matrix. So if you know the angle of the rotation, then based on the angle, and if you can transform, you can rotate any point from one position to another position. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to multiply the rotation matrix with the set of points. Now, so I am showing you another thing is that, so here it is a point rotation. Now if you want to rotate a triangle, in that case how you can rotate it? So it will be very simple, same as it. So consider this is the, so this is my triangle which is over here, and you want to rotate it, you want to rotate this triangle at this position, fine. Now while you are rotating the triangle with some, in some with some angle theta, So in that case, one thing you have to make it clear that you have to rotate the point with respect to a point. So here you are rotating this entire object with respect to origin. Clear? So it should be very clear that while you are rotating anything, any object, you have to make it sure that this rotation matrix which we derived, in this case the rotation operation has been performed with respect to origin. So while you are rotating any object with some based on some angle, in that case you have to make it sure that you are rotating that object with respect to origin. And if you are not rotating with respect to origin, with respect to some other point, then you have to do some basic operations. So translation operation, bring entire thing with respect to origin, and then perform the rotation. So I will discuss those things later. So first let me explain that one. So here you can see we are rotating this entire object with respect to origin. So we are connecting all the points. So it is very simple. Actually, what we have to do over here, so in this triangle, there are 3 points. Okay. So there are 3 points in this triangle. So what we will do, we will rotate each of them. We will rotate this point. We will rotate this point. We will rotate this one, and we will also rotate this one. Clear? So we will rotate each of them, and after rotation, ultimately the points will be present over here. So it is very simple. We will take the points, we will apply the rotation matrix on it, we will multiply those points with the rotation matrix, and we will get the rotated object in the new place. So here, what is our P? So consider this is x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. So we can write it x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3. Similarly, the new coordinate position will be x1 dashed, y1 dashed, it will be x2 dashed, y2 dashed, it will be x3 dashed, and y3 dashed. So we can write P is nothing but set of points. So here's P is xy, x1, y1, 1, x2, y2, 1, and x3, y3, 1. Okay. And our rotation matrix R is already given. You know what will be the rotation matrix. It will be cos theta minus sin theta 0, and then sin theta minus sin theta cos theta 0, and then 0, 0, 1. Okay. So what you have to do, you see this equation to get the new point set P dashed, which is nothing but x1 dashed, y1 dashed 1, x2 dashed, y2 dashed 1, x3 dashed, y3 dashed 1. What we will do, we can write that P dashed is equals to rotation matrix R dot P. Okay. So here R, what is the dimension of R? R is 3 cross 3 matrix. And what is P? It has 3 rows and 3 columns in that case. If it is squared, then it will be 4 columns. So depending on the number of points, the number of columns will increase, but the number of rows will remain same. It is 3. So if you multiplied it, so each point will be multiplied with this rotation matrix, and you will finally get x1 cos theta, then y1, so it will be like that, cos theta. So if you multiply this cos theta minus sin theta 0 with this point set, so you will get x1 cos theta minus y1 sin theta, then 0 is not required, and then you will get x2 cos theta minus y2 sin theta, and the last one is x3 cos theta minus y3 sin theta. Similarly, you will get all points for y, and the weight factor will become 1. So in here, you can get the rotated point. You can get the location of the rotated point after multiplying the R with P. So in this way, if I write the program, of multiplication, if I know what is the angle of the rotation, and if I know the points of the polygon, then based on then multiply the rotation matrix with the point of the polygon, I can find out the new points P dash, and after getting the points P dash, I can simply add them and join them, and I can draw the triangle in the new position. Okay, so that is all about the rotation. So next I will discuss scaling. So scaling is basically a transformation that alters the size of an object. Okay, so next, the topic of our discussion is scaling. Okay, now scaling basically are of two types. One is called the free scaling. The first one is called free scaling, and the second one is called the fixed point scaling. Okay, so first I will discuss what is free scaling. Now consider the XY axis. Okay, so this is our x-axis. So this is my x-axis. This is x, and this is y. Okay. So in case of free scaling, if you have an object which is square and you want to scale it 2 units along x direction and 1 unit along y direction, that means the vertical scaling will be 1 unit and horizontal scaling is 2 units. So we can write Sx. Sx is the parameter which indicate the horizontal scaling. So at the amount, I have to expand the object horizontally. So Sx is 2 units. Okay. And Sy is the amount of scaling I want to scale. I want to increase the size along y direction, that is 1 unit. So if you scale the object like that using these factors, so you can see that after scaling, the shape of the object will be something like this one. So it will be a little bit small. So like this. Okay. So this will be the size of the object after scaling, performing this amount of scaling along x direction and along y direction. If you perform this amount of scaling, you can see that after scaling, the size will be this one. Clear? Now here, the problem is that after performing the scaling on this object, your new object will appear in this position. So with the scaling, it will shift its position also. So that's why it is called the free scaling. But there is another type of scaling which is called the fixed point scaling. Now in case of fixed point scaling, what we have to do, we have to scale the object with respect to a fixed point. That means that that point will not change, it will be in its original position. So suppose we want to scale this object with respect to this point P. Let us say this is a point P. So if I want to scale the object with respect to point P, this point P will remain in its original position. It will not shift its position. So what will happen? So the scaling will be done like this one. So the same scaling operation we want to perform. We want to scale the object. We want to scale the object x unit, 2 unit in the horizontal direction and 2 unit in the vertical direction. So if we scale this same object, it will look like that. Okay. So this type of scaling is called the fixed point scaling. So here what actually happened, that this point with respect to which I want to scale, that point will not change its position. It will be in its original position. So this type of scaling is called the fixed point scaling. So in case of fixed point scaling, the object will not change its position it will change its size, but its position will be fixed. But in case of free scaling, the object will be scaled and it will change its position also. Okay. So as you know that if you want to scale the object, so what will be the scaling transformation matrix? Okay. So consider the initially the length of this one, this length, this particular length of the is a unit. Now you want to scale by Sx unit. Okay. So if you scale this object Sx unit, so what will happen? Your x coordinate will be multiplied. So if the point P, the coordinate of the point P is x and y, so in that case the x coordinate will be multiplied by Sx and the y coordinate will be multiplied by Sy. So that means after scaling, so if you want to scale the point xy, if you want to scale the point xy of any object, let us say it is point P, it will shift its position at P dash, and after shifting the value of P dash will be x dot Sx, and the value of y, that means P dash of x and P dash of y will be y into Sy. That means for the point P dash, the coordinate will be Sx dot x and Sy dot y. Okay. So we are just simply performing the multiplication. Clear? So if I want to perform this simple multiplication, then what will be the matrix? So we can say the scaling matrix is will be like this one. So we are just multiplying. So it will be Sx 0 0. Okay. Then 0 Sy 0 and then 0 0 1. And my original point P is nothing but x, y, 1. Okay. So if I want to get this P dashed, so what we have to do? We have to perform the P dashed. It is very simple. Same way we have to perform this multiplication S dot P. So you can see another important consideration, important things you can notice over here, that if you consider translation, if you consider rotation, if you consider scaling, in all these cases, the operation, that means the new coordinates are generated by performing only single operation, which is multiplication. Other than multiplication, we are not performing any operation. Fine. So that's why, that is the basic reason to shift the coordinate system from the Cartesian coordinate system to the homogeneous coordinate system. So whatever, so if I want to get the point P dash, what we have to do? We have to multiply this S with the P. So what we can write? We can write this thing, P dash equals to S dot P. So you can write it, P dash is, you know what is P dash? P dash is nothing but x dash y dash, and definitely there is another weight parameter 1 in case of homogeneous coordinate system. So we can write P dash is equals to Sx 0 0 0, then 0 Sy 0 0 0 1. Fine. This is the scaling matrix, and the point matrix is x, y, and 1. So you can see, if you perform the multiplication, you know, this Sx will be multiplied with x and zeros are multiplied with y and 1. So ultimately it will be x dot Sx. Similarly, the next one will be y dot Sy, as I shown you here, these two cases, and the weight parameter will remain 1. Clear? So in this way, we can perform the free scaling. So this scaling operation, if you just multiply the scaling matrix with the set of points, you can perform the scaling operation. And after performing the scaling operation, the object will be scaled, and along with that, the position of the object will be shifted from one place to another, as I shown you earlier. Okay. Now there is another operation which is called the fixed point scaling. So free scaling is clear. So next I will discuss the fixed point scaling. Fixed point scaling. Okay. So before learning the fixed point scaling, you have to understand why this point is shifting. Because here what we are doing, we are multiplying the x value of this particular point with some factor. So after multiplying, the x will change. So x will be shifted in some other position. It will go this, the x which is present over here, that x is multiplied with sx, and that the result will be somewhere here or somewhere here like this. That one based on your sx and sy value. Okay, but if I can do one thing, if I can shift that object, if I can shift this entire object, okay, if I can shift this entire object in origin, so if you can shift it to the origin, okay, so suppose we are bringing it at origin. So if you bring this entire object at origin, and then so what happened, the position, the coordinate of that particular point now becomes 0, 0, and subsequently all the points will change. Okay, so let me draw the diagram more clearly. So let me draw it, then it will be very easy for you to understand. So suppose we want to scale this object, and so what we will do before performing the scaling operation, what we will do, we will shift this object to the origin. Okay, so if you shift this object, okay, fine. Now if you shift this object to the origin, subsequently all the coordinates of the other points will change. So let us say, so previously the point was, it is P1, P2, P3 and P4. Okay. Now while you will shift it, while you will shift this object, while you will shift this object to the origin, okay, so while you are shifting, all the points P1, P2, P3, P4 will change. So let us say it will be P1 dashed, it will be P2 dashed, this will be P3 dashed, and this will be P4 dashed. So those points also will be changed. And how you can shift the entire object with respect to origin? You can perform simply the translation operation. So before performing the scaling operation, what you have to do? You have to perform the translation operation. So we will perform the translation, okay, matrix translation on the object. Step 1. After performing the translation operation, you perform the scaling operation. So now if you scale it, what actually happened? So this is the 0, 0. Okay, so this point P1, make it clear, point P1 is 0, 0. So if you multiply this 0, so if you multiply this 0 by Sx and this 0 by Sy, so it will still remain 0, 0. So P1 will remain at this position, it will not change. Now what is the coordinate of point P2? It has some value x2 and y2 is 0 because it is on the x-axis. So here if you multiply this x2 by Sx, so you will get some value, but if you multiply this 0 with Sy, you will again get 0. That means then this point will be nothing but x2 Sx 0. So this point will remain somewhere on this line. So let us say, suppose this point is over here. So this is our new P2 double dashed. Okay, so this point P2 will shift from this position to this position. Similarly, if you multiply the point P4 with some factor, so only y will change, x will not change, x is 0. So if it is 1 unit, so it will remain as it is position, otherwise the P4 will be changed and it will get somewhere over here. So let us say it is P4 double dashed. Okay, so if you consider the point P4, so it will be nothing. What is P4? 0 and Y4. So 0 Y4 means the X portion will remain 0 and the Y portion will be Y4 dot SY. So that means only Y direction will increase. Fine. Now the last point is P3. So if you multiply the P3, with some, so consider P3 is X3, Y3. So if you now change it, if you want to scale it, so it will be nothing but X3 into SX and Y3 into SY. So this point will change, and suppose accordingly, if you multiply it, then P1, say this point P3 will get its new position somewhere over here. Okay, so let me take some other color. So my P3 will be somewhere over here. So this point is P3 double dashed. Okay, so what actually happened after performing all this multiplication? We got our scaled object like this one. Okay, so we got our scaled object like this one. You can see only this point P3 has changed its position and P1 is remain fixed. P4 has changed its position along Y direction and P2 has changed its position along X direction, but the point P1 is remain fixed. So this is called the fixed point scaling. One point is remain fixed at its original position. Clear? So now after doing this scaling operation, what you have to do, you have to perform the reverse translation. So what you have to do, you have to perform the reverse translation. Okay, so if you perform the reverse translation, that means you have to take this object, and after taking this object, you have to, if you perform the reverse operation, so it will be shifted somewhere like here. As we are performing the reverse translation, first you bring that object with respect to origin, you bring it, and again you send back its original position. So this object will be shifted somewhere here. So what you can see, you will see that this was my original object, and after performing the scaling operation, my object will be like this one. So here we are performing the scaling with respect to a fixed point. Okay. So those are the 3 steps you need to perform while you are performing the scaling operation with respect to a fixed point. First, you have to perform the translation. So translation means you want to bring that points towards origin. Use the translation matrix, translation value as it is, as per your requirement. Scale it and then perform the reverse translation to send back the object to its original position. Okay, so that is all about the translation for the using the fixed point method, and the rest of the things are same. So actually what you are doing, if you write the entire thing in the form of the matrix, so my new X dashed Y dashed 1, if I perform the fixed point scaling, first which operation I want to perform? I want to perform the translation first. Okay, so what is the, as you know, what is our translation matrix? The translation matrix is 1 0 px. Okay, and then you have to perform the, so you first you write down all the translation matrix. So it will be 0 1 ty, and then it will be 0 0 1. So I am performing a translation. Now if you want to transfer as per your requirement, set the value of tx. Okay, now after doing the translation, what you have to do, you have to perform the scaling. So okay, scale it sx 0 0, then 0 sy 0, then 0 0 1. Okay, now after doing so, you have to do the reverse translation. So what you have to do, you have to write down 1 0 reverse minus tx, then 0 1 minus ty, and then 0 0 1. Okay. And then multiply everything with respect to point xy1. So if you perform this entire operation, you can perform the scaling with respect to a fixed point. So first we are performing the translation operation, then we are performing the scaling operation, and then you are performing the reverse translation operation. Okay. So if you multiply those things, so you get some, you can multiply all of them, and you can simplify, you get a simplified form. You can directly use that simplified form also to perform the operation. Okay, so that is all about the scaling. So you should be very careful which type of scaling you want to perform, whether you want to perform the fixed point scaling or free scaling. Okay. So thank you, that's all for today's lecture. Thank you for watching my video.